On one of the hottest September days in downtown San Diego, buses, taxis, and pedestrians clog the entrance to the San Diego Convention Center. The National Safety Council is in town, and its convention is expected to draw 14,000 people. NSC spokeswoman Kathy Lane said that's why the group chose San Diego.
There's really only a handful of convention centers in the United States that we're even able to go to because we're such a large show.
That's why city leaders have argued the convention center needs to be even bigger, and an expansion was in the works until its funding plan was ruled illegal last month. Now, officials are scrambling to keep the expansion alive. Without it, they say San Diego's convention business is at risk. That's what a mayor's task force said 5 years ago. But a new report shows a lack of space isn't the biggest problem. It's the expense of coming to San Diego. The idea of expanding first popped up in 2009 when then-Mayor Jerry Sanders said conventions were outgrowing the existing facility.
The center has reached maximum occupancy, and a lack of available space is the number one reason clients are not able to bring their business to our city.
The argument was the city suffers millions in lost tax revenues, and city leaders like Council President Todd Gloria are still saying that.
We are currently in a position of turning away a year's worth of business from San Diego. These are conventions and events that want to be here, but we can't accommodate them because our facility is not large enough.
That argument was made in other big cities to justify expensive expansions of their convention centers. But reporters elsewhere, as in Washington, D.C. and Nashville, found that the economic benefits didn't match the hype. Haywood Sanders, no relation to the former mayor, is the go-to critic nationally on convention center expansions. He says he hears Todd Gloria's argument a lot.
They are often portrayed as can't-miss ways to enhance the local economy.
But the University of Texas at San Antonio professor argues in his new book, Convention Center Follies, that the economic impact is often exaggerated. Based on his review, he says some of the country's biggest convention centers, like the one in Orlando, aren't seeing the full economic boost backers promised.
In that market environment, can a modestly sized expansion in San Diego absolutely positively yield an increase in business? And the answer to that is no. May there be a slight increase? Yeah, it's possible, although it doesn't seem terribly likely.
And just more than a week ago, the leader of a local Democratic club echoed the professor's concerns. But San Diego Convention Center spokesman Stephen Johnson disagrees.
There are clients who can't come back because San Diego doesn't offer enough space.
He pointed to letters that support an expansion that were written by the planners of some of San Diego's biggest conventions. But after a judge threw out the expansion's funding mechanism last month, the project is at a standstill. And Johnson said convention planners are growing concerned.
And they're nervous about it because they're booking their event 5 to 7 years out. And they have to make decisions now about their future events.
The City Council today will hear a report about why planners of 57 conventions decided not to hold their events in San Diego on dates from this year through 2026. But just 2 cited a lack of convention center space, according to the report prepared by the San Diego Tourism Authority. In fact, one convention group decided to go elsewhere because they wanted a smaller facility. The biggest reason groups declined to bring their conventions here? Cost. San Diego's relatively expensive hotel rooms and high fees charged by the convention center itself were the most common reasons cited. But convention center spokesman Johnson points out 12 conventions were lost because dates were already booked. With more space, Johnson said 2 events could go on at the same time.
San Diego has really become one of the top 5 destinations in the nation for conventions and meetings. The question is do we want to build on that success?
After 5 years and $10 million, convention leaders, city officials, and even the new mayor are betting on it. Taryn Mento, KPBS News.